Hello, everyone. This week, I want to talk about how employment insurance in Canada has worked for me during my medical leave. Okay, hi everyone. So I just want to explain how employment insurance in Canada has been working for me during my medical leave. And I'm going to be using this calendar so I can possibly make it a little more clear for you. So just to explain, so this is the calendar in my Budget with Ira's planner. So I'm going to be using this to explain a little more how everything has been working for me. So my surgery was on November 1st. So this is the surgery date. On November 9th, so I had payment. So this was a payment for my job, including the 2 previous weeks. So that would be the last week of October and the first week of November. So those 2 weeks were paid. So by my surgery date was on November 1st, and I came back home on, when was it? It was on Thursday night. I came back home on Thursday night, but I was still kind of under anesthesia and pain medicine. So by the time I was able to gather all the information and be lucid enough, we were back on Monday, 6th of November. And that's when I applied for employment insurance with the government of Canada. So this was the application date for employment insurance. So on this date, that's when I made my application. So how it works is that on the first week, it's called the process. I think it's called, I can't remember the exact words. If I find it somewhere, I'll put it here. But it's like the processing week or the decision week. So this week, sadly, for that decision week or application processing week, this week is not paid. So EI doesn't pay me on this week. So this week is not paid. So for sure, this week, and this week must be paid. So what you have to understand is that after these weeks, so the other part of my application is that my employer has to send all my payment stubs, or how do you call that? I can't remember how you call it, but it's like all the information about my employment has to be sent. So there's 2 options. They either send it by internet directly to employment insurance, or they give it to me and I can I have to send it, like the paper, I have to mail it in. In this case, my employer does everything online. So every week when they prepare the paychecks, everything is sent automatically to the government. So they already had that, so I didn't need to do that. But they do have to fill a form just like mine. Like there's a form to say that I'm not gonna be working. So there was a problem with all the, how can I say this? The reasons why I'm not gonna be working. So there was 2 options, one that they did not see and one that they chose at the beginning, which was one that says medical, but the only two options were they were relieving me, or I was not quitting, but I was leaving the job for medical reasons. So they chose that one thinking that was the one, but that was not the right option. So by the time that we figured everything out, we were by the end of the 3rd week of November. So just so you know, I had a payment here, my first payment, so my paycheck here, but on the 2nd week, I was not paid. So, by the 3rd week, I'm sorry, the November's 3rd week, I was not paid. And we discovered that the wrong choice was made. So there was another choice, which was option B, D like domino. And that option was just like medical leave, and I was coming back. So by the time that change was made, they had to make the changes and confirm that the changes were made. So I think it was around November 17th, somewhere on these two dates. That's when the government on their website or on my file on their website, that's when they updated all the information, and then I was approved for employment insurance. What you have to know is that if I leave my job or quitting, then I wouldn't be approved for employment insurance because I was leaving my job. But in this case, I'm not leaving my job. It's just like a medical leave. So I'm coming back to my job. So I was actually paid, I think, let me see. So on this week, I was not paid, if I'm remembering correctly. And I was finally paid on November 27th and then November 29th. So this is the second part of all this, like, administrative paperwork. So once I was finally approved during this week, then I finally got a paper, like you get a code. So you have to every week, you have to, what's the word? Like there's a form that you have to fill saying or declaring various information. I have a few pictures, but I'm gonna do that explanation on voiceover. But what I have to say right now is that once I was approved, then I was able to log in to make the bi-weekly declarations. So the first declaration was for these 2 weeks. So the weeks from November 12th to November 25th, if I'm correct. The first 2 weeks that I had to declare was from the week of November 5th to 18th. As you know, this week is not available for insurance, but the second week was. So during this declaration period, there was only 1 week that was available for payment. So after I had my approval, let's say it was Friday 17th. I'm pretty sure it was here. I can't remember exactly now. But let's say the approval was here, then I was able to access and connect. So I was able to connect during the weekend. I was able to connect and do my declaration. So on that first declaration, the only week that was available for employment insurance was from the 12th to 18th, which was paid on Monday the 27th. Then after that, I was able to make the declaration for these 2 weeks here, which were paid. They were paid last week, so I might be a little wrong with the weeks, but just know that it's for like the the period is for 2 weeks. So I know that I was paid on the 27th for the first period, and then on the 29th I had like the payment for the next 2 weeks. The other thing that you have to know is that you don't get your full salary. You get a percentage of your salary. And before I explain everything in detail on how the declaration works, I have to explain that at the beginning, the plan was like when I left for my surgery on November 1st, we had an agreement with my employer. And the agreement was that they were going to top up the percentage that was not paid by the employment insurance, so by the government. So let's say the government only pays up to 45% of your salary. So until I was approved, I didn't know what the percentage was that I would be paid. And up until now, I still don't know. They don't show you the calculations. They don't show you the percentage. They just send you, or they tell you how much you will be paid. I think, let's see. I think I was paid maybe 30% of my salary. That's what I kind of calculate. So whatever. So once we had the approval and that my employer knew how much I had been paid, they wanted to, on the next paycheck, so that would be like November 23rd, they wanted to send me like the difference between what the government had sent me and them. This is completely legal, and every employer has the choice or the option to do it or not. The only thing that we didn't know is that this is a program that they have to apply, and they have to be accepted by the government before they're even allowed to do this, because that will be taken in consideration with the calculations by the government on how much they would be paying me. In this case, because we realized that they were not in the program, they had to file for the program, and then there's up to 3 weeks wait to know if they were approved or not. So in this case, because this wasn't done, or we just didn't know, because it's also my employer's first time with something like this, so they were not able to top up my payment. So what happened in this case is that I had one full paycheck from my job. I had the 20th from the government, so this I couldn't use. I just left it like that because the thing is, there's automatic bills that are taken from the 20th, so I couldn't use that money, and I didn't have a paycheck until November 27th, and that I had to keep because I had to pay my rent for December 1st, and this wasn't even the complete amount. So by the time I got the second paycheck, I think it was on Wednesday, then I reached the amount for my rent and a little bit more. But that little bit more, I had to keep it in my account because I have recurrent bills that come in my account. So where I stand right now is that I have not been paid until now. So the next payment, so if we go to December, so this is December, and we're currently on Sunday 10th. So today is Sunday 10th. So I have not been paid on December 7th by my job because I haven't worked in November. I haven't worked in the previous 2 weeks. And I haven't been paid for the last week of November by employment insurance, at least yet. So I will be paid on this week for the previous 2 weeks, the percentage that they owe me. So I'm only going to have the paycheck on November 20th. I lost my number. Wonder where it is. So I'm gonna have this payment here on November 20th that I cannot use because it's already, there's recurrent automatic payments going on my bank account that will be taking all this money. And I'm only gonna have one paycheck on November 21st. Okay, hello guys. So this is how everything works right now, or how it looks like when you log in to make your bi-weekly report or declare your earnings and wages, payments, anything that you get to the government, so they can assess the payment that you receive for employment insurance. So when you go in and you log in on their website or the employment insurance website, and then you try to make the declaration online, this is the first thing that you see. So you have to put in your social insurance number and the access code that has been given to you and enter the province of residence. Once you're connected, then a series of questions. There's about 5 or 6 questions, so it's a pretty easy form to fill. So the first one is regarding address and direct deposit. This is just to know if you have moved, you had changed your emailing address, or if you change bank accounts or banks. The reason is just to make sure that you can receive the proper communication and all payments are made by a transfer, so you receive it directly to your bank account. And so if you change banks, then it's very important to make sure that all the information is up to date. After that, they ask you if you have traveled outside of Canada during the period of the report. Up to now, I've never been outside of Canada while being on employment insurance. I'm not sure how it affects it. Probably you will be receiving less money. If you don't declare that you've been outside of Canada, then you're committing fraud or you have lied in this form. And just remember that this is an official government form. So there are penalties. And also, it will, if they see that you've been outside of Canada during the report and that you said no, they will be asking you to refund them from the amount that you are not entitled to receive. So very important to be sure that you answer the questions truthfully. Now they're going a little bit more in details regarding your payment, your wages, and for the calculation. So are you self-employed, yes or no? And this second question is very important because this question has two aspects. So the first one is, did you work, yes or no? But the other one is, did you work and will you be paid later? So you could have been working during this period and also be paid for your works during that period. But if you work and you're going to be paid later, it also counts. So the questions are you self-employed? Did you work or receive any earnings during the period of this report? And this includes work for which you will be paid later, unpaid work, self-employment, and including farming. Then, did you receive any earnings during the first week of this report? This includes the work which you'll be paying later, unpaid work, self-employment, including farming. Okay, so the thing that I have to say here is, so in this question, I did answer yes. This is my last report declaration. So as I said before, I went back to work on December 4th. The previous week I did not work, and this report period included 1 week of which I was back to work and will be paid later. So therefore, they divided. Once I said yes, they asked me 2 questions where they divided both weeks. So on the first week, they asked me if I worked and received any payment during the first week of the report, and I said no. So then they asked me for the second week. So on the first week and the second week, I have the same question. So the first week, yes or no, were you able? The first week I said no. On the second week, I said yes because I was back to work. And then this is the question. So once it is divided, so the first period was from Sunday, November 26th up until Sunday, December 2nd. On this pay period, I wasn't able to work during the week because of my illness, injury, in my case, my surgery. On week 2, which was, wait a minute. So on week 2 was from Sunday 3rd of December to Sunday 9th of December. So I was able to work. I did not show the second week because they were asking some private information and I was not going to share it online. But the second week is pretty much the same thing. So it would be week 2 and then the days, and then you would have to say. So in my case, I said that I was able to work from Monday to Friday and I was back to work. And after that, so you have like a summary page where you review all your answers. If you made a mistake, then you can go back and make the necessary corrections. Once you do all that, and you're finished with your report, and then there's a confirmation statement, and I'm gonna read it. I declare that the answers provided to the questions on the Employment Insurance Online report are true to the best of my knowledge. I understand this information will be used to determine the eligibility for employment insurance benefit. I understand the information I have provided is subject to verification and that giving false information for myself or someone other than myself constitutes fraud. I also understand that there are penalties for knowingly making false statements. At the end of your successful online reporting session, you will be advised of the earliest date you can submit your next report. It is important to file your next report within 3 weeks of the due date, otherwise a loss of benefits may occur. The information you will provide in your report is being collected under the authority of and will be used for the purpose of administrating the Employment Insurance Act. So after this, once you confirm, then you have to enter your code, and while entering your code, then it makes your signature or your confirmation legal, official. And then once that is done, then you are able to print your report if you want to, or just save it on your computer, and then your report is done. It takes on the fastest 5 minutes, the longest 15 minutes. So it's pretty easy to do, especially if you do it online, but you can also call in and do it by phone. I'm not sure if there's an actual paper version of this, but I know for sure that you can do it online or by phone. This is how it looks when you do your declaration online. And now we'll be back to the video. So it's a little bit stressing right now because I don't know what to do. And I have like backlogged bills in my account. I have used some saving money, but I didn't have enough for 2 months. And or at least I didn't want to use all my emergency money for this. And I know that some money's gonna come in, but I still don't know like how everything is gonna work. So just as a reminder, I had these 2 payments here that I have not touched. I just left them in my bank account. So whatever bills are coming in, and for my rent paycheck, once everything is used, then I'll know how much is left. And then I'm gonna have to just see on my bills or my visual budget what I have left to pay, and I'm just going to be checking whatever is left to pay or whatever is left for the money to go in. So in December, it's going to be the same thing. Because I'm not going to be paid, then I'm going to have to see whatever is left and make the calculations on November 21st and see whatever is left. So you might see less videos now, but I just want to show you where I am right now and how it has been working for me. I did not make any spendings practically, obviously, on this month, but there were some interest on my credit card. So everything that I put here, remember, is just payments that were not budgeted. I had interest in my credit card of $27.95. Then I had Indigo. This book was like, I knew this was going on. Like, I knew that this was coming, so I had put some money on the side for that. That's fine. And then I used a little bit of money to go buy some food, just because, like, I've said this in previous videos, but because of my surgery, I'm still under a very strict diet. So I was missing some little stuff that I had used during the month, and I had to go buy some more. So on the total for this week is about $100. So on my credit card, I'm $128 behind. But I also use my credit card to pay for some things that I knew that were coming. In my credit card, I have recurring bills also. But there were some little stuff that I needed, and these are the rest of what was not budgeted. And there's $128 that were not budgeted that went through my credit card. So there's a lot of things that I need to make sure that I have a very close follow-up on this month, on December, and hopefully starting November, everything is gonna come back as usual. The good thing for Christmas is that I do have savings. I do have a cash envelope saving for Christmas, so all the Christmas gifts were, taken care of. And that's like a huge, how can I say this? It's a huge relief for me to know that I'm not under extreme pressure because of this. The only thing that I have to stress about is just recurrent bills that are taken directly from my bank account and credit card. And those are the payments that I really have to follow up. I have not put money, saved money on, except for the paycheck on November 9th, because I had a full paycheck. But after that, I have not saved any money. I have not put any saving money because I just didn't have any income for the month of November and practically the whole month of December. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the money in my bank account, make sure that recurrent bills are being paid. Any money that is left over, then I'm going to use it to pay whatever is next on my list. And sadly, savings are going to be last. So if I'm ever able to make some savings or put money on the side for savings, I'm going to do it. The other thing is my son so he was gifted a trip to Disney. So he's going to go with some family members to Disney. I don't have to pay anything. But the problem is that my son lost a lot of weight. So he didn't have any clothes. He's down about 2 sizes in his clothes. So he has a lot of tops. So some tops he has and he uses them. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. The thing is that the pants were too long. So we had to buy some clothes. We had to buy some things for travel. It's his first time traveling on a plane. So he was a little bit stressed about going through TSA with liquids. So we went to Lush and bought a bunch of stuff in a solid form. So solid lotions, tabs for toothpaste, solid soap, solid face wash, anything solid that he could bring so he's less stressed going through TSA. And because he went to Disney, I did want him to have at least 1 or 2 t-shirts, like Disney themed t-shirts. And I bought some clothes. So we bought 2 pair of pants and we bought 2 pair of t-shirts. 3 of them were from Uniqlo, and 1 of them was from, where did we buy it? Calvin Klein. So that money was taken from my travel savings. So I depleted my travel savings to pay for those. So I have to start from zero. And there's some money from my 911 bank account that I had to take to pay some rent bills before I even got any money here. And also to send the twice a month, every paycheck, I send some money to my credit card to pay half of the month. The other half is paid by the other paycheck. So in this case, I had to make sure that I had some money sent to my credit card for the last bit of November. So there's a lot of money shuffling that went through. So this is staying in my bank account for rent bills, but there's some things that were not able to be paid before that, and I had to go and take from savings. So this month, I don't have much stress. I would because on the first paycheck, I take out the money for the whole month for food. I was able to feed myself. So I had no stress there. I still have plenty food for the first part of December. If I'm missing anything, then we'll see what happens. But right now, the only stress that I have is just to make sure that I don't fall behind on bills, and just make sure that everything is paid. And then my second worry will be paying myself, the money that I took before I had this money. So I was paying myself, so I owe that money to myself, and I really want to pay myself because I want to replenish those savings accounts. And I hope that I've tried to explain this as best as I could. It was very confusing for me while I was doing this. It's not an easy process, but you know what? I'm glad that the government that I have does help you somewhat while you're on medical leave. Being a month of medical leave as a single mother is not easy. It's very stressful. If I didn't have employment insurance, if I didn't have my savings from my cash envelope, this would have been an extremely stressful month for me. And I would have probably gone back to work before time. So this is one full month, and the next Monday here, after the month of November, the first Monday is December 4th. So I actually went back to work on December 4th, and I was able to take my whole medical leave. If this wasn't the case, I would have probably gone back much earlier, and probably wouldn't have as good as of healing as I had. I don't know how it works in other countries in this case, but I really wanted to show how employment insurance works in Canada and how it worked for me in this case on November 2023. Because I'm saying November 2023 because, everything can change. The percentages of help can change. The way declaration works could change. It could be different next year. I don't know. But this is how it worked for me on this month. And I wanted to really explain how it worked for me, and also have an explanation if you see less videos next month, this month, the month of December, So you know what's going on. So if I don't have anything coming in, if I don't have anything to put on my cash saving envelopes, then you won't have a video. But at least I can explain how this worked for me on November 2023, and we'll see what's going on for December 2023. So thank you very much. I hope that you have plenty health. I hope you have mental health, and I hope you have a good financial health. Thank you very much, and goodbye.